by Apollos and Barnabas. But the main things remain, that this book was written to the Jewish believers of first century of the congregation which gathered around coming Yeshua HaMashiach. And what's happening? The persecution was coming. They didn't experience martyrdom, yes, but persecution was coming, and they were considering thinking to lapse back in Judaism. And that's why that book was written, to strengthen them in their faith and to let them know that Judaism, as was said by somebody, that Judaism didn't save anybody. But Mashiach, yes, it did. But Mashiach. And salvation, it is of the Jews. And that was a book written to encourage them in their faith, that they would not go and remember where they started. And in the book 4, it was saying, and reminding them that for if Joshua had given them, in verse 8 I'm reading, rest, he would not have spoken of another day after that, so that there remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For the one who has entered his rest has himself also rested from his works, as God did from his. Therefore let us be diligent to enter that rest, so that no one will fall through the following the same example of disobedience. Yes, he was talking about disobedience. For the word of God is living and active and sharper than any two-edged sword, and piercing as far as the division of the soul and spirit, of both joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. He was trying to remind us that we have the living word, and he not just living word. The word was with God, and word was God. And word was from the beginning. This word became a flesh, and he's reminding them that he is not just a living word of God which became flesh, but he became a high priest into the order of Melchizedek. And he passed through the heavens, and his name is Yeshua, and he is one Son of God. He's the only begotten of God, as Tehillim saying in the verses. In the Tehillim 110, right there in the first verses, where David was saying, God's Lord said to my Lord. And those are examples right there. And let us hold fast our confession. So because we don't have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses. They were coming through the persecution, and persecution is coming on America. And this testing is coming on America. And I believe we will go through the same testing as those believers, similar testing as those believers who were in the first century church. It will be maybe different, but God will separate, and that separation will be more obvious between goats and sheep. And we just will come through the same testing, and we will be tempted in so many things. And as the writer of this book was saying, let us draw near with confidence to the throne of grace, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. And that time of need is coming, it's very real. And that he reminded, this throne of grace is still open to everybody who will call on the name of God in truth and in faith. Because what he was trying to remind us, that wise, even though they were brought from Egypt into the wilderness, but because of their disobedience, because their unbelief, they fell away. But this still, there is hope for this Sabbath rest which they didn't enter. And it's hope for everybody who will cry on God in faith and truth. And for Muslim, for Jews, for Jew or any person, for any nation, this way is still open. And this way is only Yeshua HaMashiach. He is the way, he is the truth. Embodied, and he is really truth embodiment in the